Hello and welcome back to another video here on the channel. In today's video we are taking a look at 21W17A. Unfortunately I was unable to cover last week's snapshot, but we are here today covering the brand new snapshot. In a way we can take a look at this as two separate different snapshots. We have the 1.17 snapshot and we have the 1.18 snapshot, and we're going to take a look at them both in today's video. So obviously we're going to start with the 1.17 changes. One of the changes in today's snapshot is we have some new tweaked textures for the raw materials. So on the screen you can see we have our iron, our raw iron, we have our raw copper, and we have our raw gold. This is the 21W17A version, and on your screen now you can see the comparison between the two. On the left we have the previous snapshot, and now on the right we have the newest snapshot. Pause the video if you want to check them out in a little bit more detail. This snapshot, as I already mentioned, contains just a few smaller tweaks to the way things work. However, the one we're going to take a look at after this changes quite a bit in the game. But firstly, let's take a look at this. As you can see, the small drip leaf can now be placed on moss blocks. This already could be placed inside water or on clay blocks. I assume the rationality behind this is that moss is a very damp block, so is clay, and obviously so is water. This of course makes no changes to the big drip leaf, which can be placed on any block it likes. As we can see, we're able to place on any block whatsoever. It's just applying it to the small drip leaf. Now we're going to take a look at copper. There have been some changes to copper and the way it drops, the amount it drops, and the way you craft the blocks. These changes are as follows. What we're going to do is in my inventory have an efficiency 5 regular pickaxe, and then on the left I have a fortune 3 regular pickaxe. Before, copper would only drop 1 raw copper. Now let's take a look at what it drops. So I'm going to mine it, and I'm in creative mode. But let's jump into survival mode and let's give it a go. As you can see, I've mined 2, and we can already see that we have more than 2 in there, and we have 5 from there. You will now, each copper block without fortune will drop between 2 to 3 copper. So as we can see, let's mine this line just here and let's see how much we get compared to what we would get before, which is much less. We see we got 44 raw copper just there. Now this also applies with fortune, so it will mean we will get more copper from our drops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start mining these, and as you will see, I'm already starting to get a whole bunch more just from mining that little amount there. So if I was to pick these up and go the whole way down to the end, as you will see, we're getting so much more with fortune 3. All the more reason to get fortune on your pickaxes when you go mining. But why has this change been made? Well, I think there is a good reason behind this. This is because the crafting recipe for copper blocks has changed. Previously, you could do it in a 4x4, just like that, but now you'll see that is not applicable. You have to do it in a 9x9. So we are now getting more copper for our worth because we're getting more raw copper, meaning we're able to craft these blocks of copper without reducing the amount we are getting. I think overall this means we do actually get more copper for the amount we mine, which is obviously brilliant news for all of us that love the brand new copper textures. Now alongside obviously a whole bunch of bug fixes, they were the only small changes in this 1.17 snapshot part of the game, but now what we're going to do is we're going to download the data pack, we're going to pop it in a new world and take a look at the changes that have happened for 1.18. We have downloaded the 1.18 data pack, or also known as the Cave and Cliffs preview data pack, and as you can see we have a brand new cave type. Now you might not be able to notice it if I don't point it out, but what we have now is we have a new type of cave. This is called the Noodle Cave. These are Now these types of caves, as we can see just here, are very thin, very claustrophobic, and very narrow. Now these add to obviously all of the other caves which are in the game. This may adjust the way in which they spawn a little bit and the ratings of other caves. However, that is not listed in the changelog, so I'm unable to confirm that. But as we can see, these will now spawn in, and I tell you what, I love the look at them. They are so much more claustrophobic. If we are now to jump in here, as you can see how narrow these actually are when we go up there. This is definitely not something you'd be able to walk in without having to break quite a few blocks. I tell you what, I keep seeing amazing examples of these all around the world by just flying around underground with a little bit of night vision on. I tell you what, the way in which they connect with the larger caves underground, as you can see we have a noodle cave coming the whole way down into what I assume here is a spaghetti cave, and they connect really brilliantly, and it really gives this awesome atmosphere down underground. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at change to large ore veins. Now these were added in the previous snapshot. If you don't know what they're all about, there'll be a link to the previous changelog down below. And as you can see, I have one just here. This here is an iron large ore vein. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to fly up and you'll see that I'm going to start to remove all of the blocks around it so we can take a proper look at how massive these actually are. Now there have been some changes to the way these spawn, and whoa, am shocked at how big this is. This is the first time I've seen one of these in game, and look at this, it is absolutely incredible. Now you may have already noticed the changes that have occurred in this version, and that is that very rarely, sometimes a complete raw ore version of the block can spawn in. So these spawn in copper variants and also in iron variants, as we are seeing here. And I mean, take a look at the size of this. When I clear out all of this space, we can take a look at how much iron you'd actually be able to get from this sort of spawning in here. That would be utterly incredible. Now I have cleared out such a big space of this, you can see how incredibly massive this iron ore vein is. And when you uncover them, what a surprise, and how lucky you will be to gather all of this iron up. Imagine coming across one of these in a UHC, you will be done almost instantly. Now, as you can see, I've done a whole bunch of flying around, but I've been unable to find a copper ore vein. Unfortunately, I would have liked to have shown it off on camera, but I don't seem to be able to find one. They must be pretty rare. But unfortunately, that is all I have for today's video. If you've enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. We are ever so close on the channel to reaching 2,000 subscribers. Can we reach it in today's video? Well, you have to help me out down in the comment section and by hitting that button. Thanks ever so much for help. Thanks ever so much for watching today's video. If you've enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.